In today's video, I'm going to show you the least amount of money you need in your portfolio in order to retire. Hey everybody, I'm James Knoll, founder of Root Financial, and I'm here to teach you how to create a secure retirement. We often want to know, how much do I need to have in my portfolio to retire? Well, depending upon what you want retirement to look like and several other factors, the answer of course is it depends. What we're going to do in today's video though is understand what's the least amount of money that you need to have in your portfolio to be able to retire and live comfortably. So here's what we're going to do. When you're looking at your retirement, there's three primary factors or three primary variables that you need to understand so that you can see if you're on track to retire. Let's take a look at what those are. Well, number one is going to be your portfolio. So what's the value of your portfolio? Again, in today's video, we're going to understand how do you minimize or find the least amount that you need to have in your portfolio to be able to retire. That's the first variable. The second is your expenses. And the third is your outside income sources. So let's walk through this. Now, before we get started, it goes without saying that one of the biggest factors in your retirement and your ability to retire with the least amount of money in your portfolio is what do you want retirement to look like. If you're looking at this and saying you want to spend $4,000 per month in retirement, you're going to need a very different amount in your portfolio than someone who says they want to spend $40,000 per month. That just makes sense. But when we look at the average spending of the average retiree, it's about $4,000 per month based upon nationwide data. Your number will probably be a little bit different, but let's look at this. Let's assume that your expenses in retirement to start are $4,000 per month. So what this is measuring is our expenses in retirement. What we're trying to do is understand what's the amount that we need in our portfolio to make that happen, because by the way, before skipping too far ahead, technically you could have $0 in your portfolio and still retire if other conditions are met. Here's what we need to look at. Let's assume that you have one income source in retirement. And let's just assume it's Social Security. And you could collect your Social Security, let's say at 62, or you could collect it at age 70. And I'm just going to make up some numbers. Let's assume at age 62 it's $2,000 per month that you could collect, or at age 70 it's $4,000 per month that you could collect. Well, let's see what your portfolio needs to look like in each of those instances. Well, if you're going to retire at 62, here's what we want to look at. We know that Social Security, if we go back to your expenses here, is going to cover about $2,000 per month. That's what this green bar represents. But your expenses are $4,000 per month. What that means for you is that the remaining $2,000 per month, here's the gap. So if $2,000 is coming in from Social Security, which is this amount right here, the gap or the shortfall is the remaining $2,000 per month. That's the amount that needs to come from your portfolio. So what we're looking at is your portfolio would need to generate that difference. So $2,000 per month coming from there. So if you're trying to solve for what's the minimum portfolio you need to retire at 62, well, we know that we have a portfolio that needs to generate $2,000 per month. A simple way that you can understand this is say $2,000 per month, that equals $24,000 per year. And you know what, let's just keep this nice and simple. Instead of saying $24,000 per year, let's say that that's just 25 grand per year to use a nice round number. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to understand how much portfolio do I need to generate $25,000 per year of income. So we have to divide that by a sustainable withdrawal rate. Depending on what you're comfortable using, you could use the rule of 4% and divide this by 4%. You could use other approaches and divide it by a different percent. To use a very simple starting point, let's assume your portfolio is structured to be able to generate 5% per year in withdrawals and do so sustainably for 30 to 40 plus years. What that means is 25,000 divided by 5% equals $500,000. That's how much you would need to have in your portfolio to retire at 62, have $2,000 per month of income from Social Security, and have a portfolio value that could support the remaining $2,000 per month and give you the $4,000 total that you want. Now, I said before, technically you don't have to have any money in your portfolio if you want to be able to retire and be able to live comfortably. You're saying, well, how on earth does that happen? How do I fill in this gap here between what I want to live on and what Social Security is generating? Well, it's simple. What we need to do is let's back out this right here. What we're going to do is we're going to say, now there's trade-offs to this, but you're going to work longer. Again, what happens if you don't work until 62, but what happens if you work until 70? Well, now our income is $4,000 per month, which means our expenses are fully covered by Social Security. So what you're seeing here is there's a very real trade-off. You don't technically have to have anything in your portfolio. Now, you might not feel fully comfortable relying just upon Social Security in retirement, but what you see here is the longer you're working, what it's doing is pushing up your Social Security base. This could also apply to pensions. This could also apply to real estate and rental income. This could apply to a number of factors. But when we're looking at our expenses, we're starting with a number. We're seeing how much of that number can be filled in by outside income sources. And generally, the longer we work, the higher those income sources become. And then that gap is what comes from our portfolio. And also, the longer we work, the more our portfolio grows, or the bigger the balance becomes, and the more it can fill in that gap. Now, what's one thing that could change this? Well, quite frankly, there's a lot of things. This might be an overly simplistic projection, but you could have things like uneven spending amounts in retirement. What if you're going to collect Social Security at 70, but you're retiring at 65? Well, you need a plan to fill in that gap. Or what if you have large purchases in retirement? This could be a house, it could be a boat, this could be a long-term care or a health event. That's something that could throw this off if you're not going to have a consistent spending over time. So this may be overly simplified, but what it is it helps you to show, or it helps you to see how your portfolio fits into your overall plan. Think of your portfolio as an income machine. The higher your other income sources outside of your portfolio, the less of an income machine that you need to fill in that gap. So now that you know how much you need to have in your portfolio to retire, the next question is, where should you draw funds from first? Be sure to check out the video above to understand what withdrawal strategy you should use in retirement. Thanks for watching. This is James Knoll with Root Financial Partners. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to share it with someone else who you think would benefit from this information. And also, please be sure to like and subscribe for more content just like this. Finally, if you'd like to see how we help clients create a secure retirement, be sure to check out our website at rootfinancialpartners.com.